Today's recipe is going to be tilapia with tomatoes over arugula, and this is a Martha Stewart recipe. I add this to my repertoire of usually prepared recipes because it's so good, it's easy, and it's healthy. So here's what the ingredients are. You're going to start off with tilapia. It comes in this huge bag. You can get this at Sam's Club or Costco, and when you open up the bag, they come as individual wrapped vacuum sealed packages, and these are really thin pieces of fish, and so they defrost quite easily. So it's not like you have to always prepare well in advance, like in the morning, know that you're going to be making this. You can run this under water and it'll defrost quite easily. Also, it's going to use tomatoes. Now I'm going to use fresh tomatoes, but in a pinch, when I don't have fresh tomatoes on hand, I use diced tomatoes. And it's also going to use garlic and capers. Now capers does have salt, but you use very little, and it adds a nice flavor to it. It'll also use lemon juice and arugula, which if you've never had arugula, this is awesome. It has a nice pepper taste. I buy my arugula at Fresh and Easy. They have the nicest bag salads there. Nice. Look how beautiful the quality is. Sometimes when I go to other stores and look at their bag produce, it's horrible. So this is where you want to get it at. Okay, so over here, I started out with a 1/4 cup of water. I let it boil, and I added tomatoes, and I just used Roma tomatoes. I'm going to put the link to her recipe in the comment section of my video, and she uses cherry tomatoes, but it doesn't really matter what kind of tomatoes you use. Okay, and I'm going to let that simmer a little bit, and then after that I'm going to add the tilapia to it. Okay, so I added the tilapia. They were still frozen, but they're so thin that once I add this cover to it, it's going to steam nicely, so it doesn't really matter. And also, I forgot to mention that in the tomatoes, I added a 1/4 teaspoon of red chili pepper flakes. You can add more or less depending on what your tastes are. And I'm also going to season it with pepper. You can do salt, but remember the capers are going to have salt, so I don't add extra salt if ingredients I'm using have salt. Okay, so just cover it like that and let it cook. Now for the rice, I'm going to use a jasmine rice. You could use white rice, you could use brown rice. The sauce uses butter. I'm going to use this Brummel and Brown. It's like butter, but it's made with non-fat yogurt. So I'm going to use that instead of butter, although it only uses like a tablespoon of butter. And I say go for the butter if you want, because you know the flavor that you get out of it is really good. But I'm trying to stay lean, so every little bit counts. I'm going to use the Brummel and Brown. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and microwave this. I like buying packages from my favorite store, Fresh and Easy, because it's just my husband and I, and this is enough for 2 of us. It's a servings of 2, and I'm not having to make a big pot of rice, and you know, it's quick, and it's easy, and it's fresh. So anyhow, I'm going to put this in the microwave, and you'll see me plate it in a little bit. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add the arugula to this, and then it's going to wilt. I don't measure, I just kind of add it till I think, okay, how much are we going to eat? It's veggies, so you can never have enough veggies. Okay, so this is what it looks like when the arugula is wilted, and we're going to go ahead and add that to the plate and start plating it. And throw the tomatoes on there. You can see how tender the fish is now, so it's all cooked. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is make the sauce. So I'll do that next. So the sauce is a tablespoon of butter, and the recipe doesn't call for garlic, but hello, garlic and butter. You can't go wrong, right? If you don't like garlic, omit it. Recipes are creative, so whatever you like. There's no right or wrong. And then I'm going to add the capers. Okay, then next I'm going to add the lemon juice, a tablespoon of that. I just kind of eyeball it. And then a tablespoon of the capers. I just kind of eyeball it. This is probably really a teaspoon, but again, creative, whatever you feel like. Okay, you just let that simmer for a little bit, and then you're going to pour that over the rice. And when you're doing this, sometimes when I make this, the water boils away. So, like right now, this is a right amount of liquids, but if you're finding that you don't have a lot of liquids, the reason why I'm having a lot of liquids is because I used Roma tomatoes, and so the tomatoes, as they cooked, they gave off juice, right? Sometimes when you use the cherry tomatoes, you don't get as much juice, so you're just going to add water to it. No big deal. A little bit, right? Because you can always add more, but it's hard to take away, so don't go too zealous when you're adding stuff. Okay. Okay, and so this is the rice. See how I just cut it in half and put it on the plate? So easy. We don't have enough time always to make dinner. So that's why we eat out. And then when we eat out, we choose the wrong thing because fries sound good. So if you learn how to make easy, quick things, you're going to love cooking at home because you can't believe how good things taste and how fresh the ingredients are, and you know that you clean your kitchen. Versus when you go out to eat, I can't stand when I order a salad and it's poor quality and the produce isn't fresh. So, and then I always get my salad on dressing on the side, and they always get it wrong, blah, blah, blah. So this way, I can prepare it the way I like. And now my husband really doesn't like to go out to eat too much because he says I make better food at home, and I have to agree. So it's